Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
Now, here's your host, Ed Cohen.
So here we are. I'm in San Diego. This is Ed, and that's Mark Bicocchi in the DC metro region. And we're here just shooting the breeze, as you could tell. And it's all about the realities of work life, never mind the mobility factors, that everything is loosened up. And that's because of remote. That's because of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, no, totally. And always great to be with you, Ed. I really enjoy
Thank you.
connecting with you.
Really
I was just reflecting on the fact that it's been hard to get in touch just because, it's in addition to just, I think what tends to happen is you go to, when you're in the office every day pre-COVID, there's a set schedule and it's just kind
of a routine.
Yeah. And then now it's like all these other things come up and you're able to accommodate them, or you tend to choose to accommodate them because you can get to the work at a different time. And so you run yourself too thin sometimes. And then I don't think that issue happened as much before,
So what we've learned to pace ourselves, and the idea is that it's okay to, at say 9 o'clock at night, put the computer on, because first of all, it's going to be quiet. And, second of all, your brain is ready. My brain is ready to do, if I can do one thing good from 9 to 10, I'm going to go to sleep right away. Knowing that I've done it. And it's going to be good for me, and it's going to be good for the company because I'm doing that thing right.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you. And I think, tend to at night, usually just like, I try not to open the laptop, and I usually don't. It's just the work phone. Like I'll just glance at the work phone, and if I can knock out a few emails or things like that, it's just easier, because now sometimes it has to be you open the laptop because it's a long email that you need to type out and it's hard on the phone, but yeah, I try to after dinner time, try to shut down as much as possible if I can. Just the family's more important to me, and kids and things like that. So I try to do that. But again, we sort of open ourselves up to more ability to make choices to accommodate people, items, tasks, what have you, than we did in the past, because we're able to. Have that flexibility.
So you got a few minutes to just talk about the mobility industry and
sure,
the corporate dealing with remote people and that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So we've got about 15, 20 minutes. And so it's a new year. COVID continues. I don't have it, but that was a cough.
Glad to hear you don't have it.
No, I know. But
I had it.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah, I had it actually during the Christmas holiday, and didn't get to see my kids on Christmas, and got it about 3 days before Christmas. So I, was and that was right before they went to the 5-day quarantine or what have you. So it was like a 10-day type thing. So yeah, it was a horrible holiday for me, but hey, I'm just happy it's the new year and I was able to celebrate with them after.
So you got a relatively mild case, but enough.
Yeah, I had not gotten the booster yet, and I was vaccinated in April of last year. So it was a case of about, I'd say 2 to 3 days of pretty bad, fever and all that. And then after that third day, I was fine.
Yeah. So did you take a special medicine?
No, I just kind of gutted myself through it. Just Tylenol and Advil every 4 hours, like on and off, switching between the two. But that was it. And then, just night sweats and things like that. And then fever and, pretty much felt like the flu. And then I had a booster appointment scheduled, so I wound up getting it the following week.
Well, now you're ready.
So I must have like super blood now because I have antibodies and booster and all that. So I should.
Yeah, well, now that's it. You'll be set. So, so did you have the flu shot?
I did not. Yeah, I probably should have, but I have not. Yeah, I didn't get that yet. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. So that's because you're busy moving people, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So are you really? Is there movement going on? Relocations?
Yeah. There's a lot. It's been pretty busy since the last time I've talked to you, and yeah, I think we talked maybe once or twice during COVID period, or still is COVID, but
Yeah.
during 2020 and 2021. But
Yeah.
it definitely was a lull for a while, but domestically, within the U.S., our volume probably has increased slightly to pre-COVID levels. So it took a while to get back to around pre-COVID levels, and now I'd say it's probably even a little bit more. And I think that's a result of, again, remote situations, people asking to work from different places, us accommodating that, allowing them to relocate as a result, and then just new opportunities out there for a lot of different people to get out there and try something a little bit different, and we're being very flexible in those arrangements as a company. So yeah, domestic has been, and I think just the market, domestic market in general of buying homes and selling homes is, interest rates are still pretty low. And so that's been, I know the moving industry as a whole has been pretty rocking the last year or so. And I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. So the appetite to buy and sell and all of that is very much there. So people are finding the right time to do it, and maybe being back with family or what have you in a different location. And then internationally, I'd say we're still not at pre-COVID levels, but there has been some movement, and a moderate curve upward over the last 6 months to a year of more and more scenarios that are coming to our plates where we have to evaluate it. It's interesting because instead of them being kind of the run-of-the-mills ones before, like a typical assignment, it's more of a, hey, we got somebody in UK right now that wants to go to Australia to do their UK work from Australia because they have aging parents in Australia and want to be there with them. They'll fly back to the UK maybe once a month during the next 2 years. Can you untangle kind of the tax and immigration implications and what's going to go along with it, and if they could still be paid out of UK payroll versus Australian payroll? So a lot of tentacles to a lot of these scenarios that we have to sort of unravel because of the remote, the appetite for remote work, and I guess sort of the how do I say that the more confident that people are in asking their inline management if they can do something that's like that's sort of remote, as we're 3 years ago.
That's a super cool benefit.
Yeah.
Because that's really the epitome of accommodating the needs of the transferee.
Yeah, it really is, and we're in many cases allowing that type of thing to happen if it's feasible, and if it's cost conscious in terms of especially with tax from an individual and corporate standpoint. So those are really that's really the big thing we look at in those scenarios, is if we can find that it's advantageous tax wise and not going to be a hindrance to the employer or the company, that will accommodate that type of request. So So yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And I talk to peers in the industry. I think a lot of the companies are seeing that type of thing too, and coming up with uh, remote policies and, white papers and things like that. Many cases we would find out about people that had moved and hadn't said anything, even to their inline managers. In fact, one person we found out through a VPN connection that they were in a different country and working. And so it was like, oh, how long you been there? Well, a few months, and so on and so forth. And so there's some backtracking that has to go on as well from a tax standpoint and getting them situated and things like that. And there's probably a lot of them out there we don't know of that just haven't come to us, or we just don't know. And so we try to educate our stakeholders as much as possible to find out, what they can.
So, so that person that you just referred to, just as an example for a moment, were you the only one in the company that found out that this person has been somewhere else, obviously still doing the job? So who cares? I
Yeah,
guess, but
yeah, no, and I found out through another HR colleague who then had found out from that person's inline manager. Kind of went, to HR and said, "Hey, can you check with our mobility folks? Like, is there a problem with this, or do we have any exposure?" And that's typically what, and we don't know what we don't know on our side, right? So I think it's typically somebody out there, the inline manager, is like, it doesn't smell right or feel right or what have you. Like, they're just going to go to HR and say, is this kind of a weird one? Like, is there something we need to be like, they're, even though they're not mobility specialists, their heads are kind of turning on tax, legality, all that sort of stuff. So, we always encourage
so
them.
apparently they're able to do their job.
Yeah. Yeah. They were able, I mean, because what was happening was, for now on the hotel operation side, it's very different, of course. I mean, those people need to be in the hotels, and they still need to be, servicing our customers in the hotels. But this was a corporate employee, like myself. And for most of our corporate employees during that period in 2020 and most of 2021, it was, most people were working remotely. And so a lot of times, folks were probably, just working from wherever, not necessarily their home that they have stated in our company's HRIS system, our company's, where you have a profile in your home and all that. So, yeah, and I don't think it was so clear at the time, or anybody really had enough time to kind of write up a white paper to say, if you plan on going somewhere else, be cognizant and talk to your inline managers. And so, I mean, we are now, but at that time of all the craziness, I think, people weren't thinking that as the first thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, just briefly, what do you think? If you want to talk about this, let me know. If you don't, the relocation business will just move on and just evolve in its own pace, rather than any breakthrough changes coming down the road that you see clearly. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it'll continue. I mean, domestically, absolutely. I mean, I think the market is dictating part of that. I think as far as the remote opportunities, sure. Now on our hotel side, again, there's not really a remote, option. There may be for a couple of positions, that are sort of back of the house positions in the hotel where they can do some remote work, but most of those folks have to be at the hotel, facing customers and things like that.
Right.
So, but on the corporate side, it certainly, I don't know I don't see it changing much. I still see our strategy as, folks that are in executive leadership looking down and saying, here's a great growth opportunity for this person in Singapore for 2 years, 3 years. Here's a, or we want to send somebody out for, a few years doing this, accommodating this request, that request. I think I don't see that changing. That the demand to move around talent and give them growth opportunities is still there from what I've seen. And now with remote scenarios being what they are, I think it could grow even more. I personally myself, I don't know how much feedback you get from the folks that you're always talking to on what they like. I personally myself like going into the office, and our offices are back open, and so I try to go in a couple days a week. I like the routine when I can, and but I think I'm in the minority on that. I think most people like the remote, the flexibility and all of that. I feel a little more productive in the office. The only problem, and because I like people, I like being around people. The only problem is when I do go in, there's not many people there. Part of the point of going in is to be around people, so.
Well, that's a quote for the ages. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's because you're an extrovert. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Same old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are pleased to welcome Adamo Education as a proud sponsor of Global TV Talk Show.
The concept of a micro school is the reimagining of the one-room schoolhouse. My name is Tamara Becker. I'm the president and CEO of Adamo Education. The micro school concept really does not just lend itself to the personalization and the customization of learning, but also the social development and fostering that sense of love for learning. Unlike what we see in traditional brick and mortar schools, we have multiple grade levels in the same learning space. Students can be enriched by the socialization that they get, as well as the academic support from peers. What differentiates Adamo is the fact that we are taking the best pieces of brick and mortar, of digital, and then at-home learning. Students here can come 5 days a week. They can come 4 hours a day. It will really just depend on what is best for the student and for the parent. To enroll, just reach out via phone, text, or email, and we'll have that personalized conversation, and we'll be able to get you all set. Check us out at adamoeducation.org.
Hi, this is Ed, and I thank you for tuning in to Global TV Talk Show, a unit on globalbusinessnews.net. We broadcast to the world, as you know by now. So I wanted to make sure that you understand that our programs are advertising supported. We're grateful for co-sponsors, advertisers. They have a marketing budget, coupled with a strong desire to be associated with our top quality program. And of course, I'm grateful. Thank you. So for the next few minutes, you're going to see some commercials. It's mostly very low key, and our prices are very, very reasonable. Our exposure for the advertisers go 12 months and beyond. Some of our advertisers have been with us since March, April of 2020. And Google Analytics has tracked over 125,000 what they call audience page views, which means you looking at this page, that's a page view. Now, if you happen to go to one of our other shows or to our radio broadcasts or to our newspaper or magazine, those become additional page views as measured by Google Analytics. And so when they say 125,000 since spring of 2020 up through Labor Day, a month ago, that's pretty good numbers. And the past 30 days, Google Analytics has measured just under 6,000 audience page views. And that, according to them, is a 42% increase in audience participation over the month of August. So thank you very much. Well, here's our advertisers, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes or so, and we'll proceed with this interesting conversation. Thank you.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice, at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
And by airs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at airs.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles with flexible solutions and financing. On the web at intlauto.com.
Become a global player in your field.
Cross Culture to Go provides virtual support for your global business and career success.
We can help you thrive in 140 plus countries and markets.
On the web at crossculturetogo.com.
Something that's really neat is that the Bridge School partners with various organizations to provide learning for their students. For example, we partner with a major ballet company, and we are able to enroll several of their students into our school. So now not only is the student able to participate in a school and have a seamless transition while they're very active in their ballet career, but now they have other dancers that are with them that are doing some of the same courses. So it's almost becoming a camaraderie where they're taking similar courses, they're working together on their ballet, and really being able to form this great partnership with these organizations to provide a needed service. A lot of times there are student athletes who will spend hours and hours at the gym or at the basketball courts, wherever it is. And if they're attending a traditional school, they're in school from 8 to 3. They get a quick snack, and then they're at the gym for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Coming to us and having that partnership, they're able to break that up throughout the day. They can have a morning practice, get some schooling in, have an afternoon practice, finish their schooling in the evening. So there's that flexibility. And additionally, if there are tournaments or performances, it's fantastic because if there's a week where they have shows straight through, they can take that week off of learning and then pick back up when they're done. So it offers this great flexibility. And for the program owners of these sports leagues, it is a win-win situation for them because they see this need. They see this need that their students need to make sure that they are obtaining the grades necessary to be successful adults in our country and in other countries. But it provides them an environment where they can be successful at both.
Hi, I'm Sergey Gorbatov.
I'm Angela Lane.
Together we're researchers, writers and practitioners in the field of human resources.
And we've also been multi-country, multi-assignment career expats.
We owe our professional development and growth to a very large extent to the international assignment opportunities that we have had.
But in a world where distributed work may become the norm, we also want to understand what will happen to the nature, duration, and purpose of international assignments.
Together with our colleague, Julian Dalzell from the University of South Carolina, we're undertaking a study on the future of expatriation.
And we'd value your contribution. You can participate in this important study by completing a simple 10-minute questionnaire.
Access the questionnaire by typing in your browser tinyurl.com/expert study. That's tinyurl.com/expert study. You can also find the link here on Ed's website next to this video.
Thank you for joining us in this study. In return for your contribution, we'll provide you with a copy of our research.
And of course, you'll be invited to an exclusive webinar hosted by Ed, where we will share our findings right here on Global Business News.
And so please go to tinyurl.com/expat study. Take the survey so that we can better understand the future of expatriation.
Yeah. So it's really interesting talking with you again and to hear some normalcy creeping back into play. And that's good. That's good. That means that there's more business out there that'll eventually hit small businesses like mine. So that's good.
Yeah. And I think for us, our industry of hotels and travel and hospitality and all of that, it started to come back, I think, pretty well last year. As we got to the end of the year. And then, unfortunately, there was a little dip there in December with the Omicron and even January now. It might take through February and March, but we're probably going to see in our earnings, a little bit of a dip there, but I don't think anything to be concerned about. I think it's going to pick right back up. The demand is there. I'm already feeling like, from what I've seen, out there in the news and stuff, that it's, Omicron and in general, it seems to me like that spike of Omicron's already occurred, and I don't know if it'll get worse or not. But for business, I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be back to normal at some point and beyond, and even better.
So. We're looking at the potential of staging a European conference tour.
Nice.
Last week of April, but I'm a little reluctant, although I've started the initial PR to test the waters.
To see.
So the plan would be to fly into London and do a meeting, and then take the train over to Paris and do a meeting, and then take the TGV into Geneva and do a meeting. All within the same week, right?
Wow.
And so, and then after that, maybe go to Sicily or someplace, and just not do a meeting.
That's fantastic.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about sort of my background, but I lived in Italy as a kid. My parents are from Italy, and they're immigrants, and so we have a lot of family there. In fact, my mother's whole side is there. My dad, about half of his side, is still there. And so we have a lot of family there. And I used to go there a lot. My grandparents were living there and all of that. And so we have cousins in Tuscany. And it's, I've been in touch with them, a lot throughout the COVID period. And boy, they got slammed so hard in the beginning. They still are. And what I'm seeing and talking to cousins of mine, that there's a lot of protests going on over there of just, people are getting really upset because they're requiring, in many of those regions, still masks to be worn outdoors. In many of them, you can't leave your home unless you're going grocery shopping or because it's still pretty bad. And so people are really, really having a tough time with it. And so it'd be interesting to see for Europe in general. I know Italy is probably worse than many other places, as we saw over the last couple of years where COVID hit, but interesting to see what the appetite is for a lot of folks over there. I think some places are just better than others, I think, right now.
So we'll see what happens. My plan would be to do what I call a VIP meeting. And it sounds executive, doesn't it? But what it actually means today is virtual in person.
Yeah, oh, nice. Yeah. I like that. I like
So you go to a place and you set up the computer and have a big screen, and there's some people in the room, but
Yeah.
we also have people from around the world to participate.
Yeah, yeah. I did participate in a conference like that about 6 months ago or longer. It was in Sydney in Australia, and then they had me and one or two other people on the screen. But it was pretty cool because I hadn't done it that way before, and then I could see everybody in the room, at their different
Yeah.
round tables. There's about 30 people in the room.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat,
That's the idea, is to figure out,
Yeah.
how all that works.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm still looking for sponsors and key speakers. I don't think speakers will be a problem, but getting the sponsors might be.
Right.
So we're looking. I just made the decision to go forward with the search.
Yeah.
And if we'll know a couple of weeks or so if people are interested to spend money.
That's great. That's great. That sounds fantastic.
So if it's not late April, it might be in July or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not sure.
Did that mobility cruise ever happen? That idea?
No, and not for me.
Okay.
So and now's not the time to do that either.
Yeah.
But I would love to
Like a
do
great
that.
idea.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to do that. And I try to get it going, and some people, in fact, a lot of people wanted the information, and then many of the people wanted to plan a family jaunt,
Right.
And then it had to be coordinated with different vacation times. I said, oh my God, there's so many problems here. So you got to set it up way in advance.
Yeah.
Maybe with Gen Z and younger people that just fly by night. Let's do that this weekend, a 3-day cruise,
Right.
and just get on the boat and go somewhere. Oh yeah, and have a write-off because we're actually going to have a meeting.
Right. Yeah. No. And they're good at that too. The younger folks too, of just quickly planning and executing through their phones and everything. Like they can just boom, make it happen.
Right, and especially gamified. Whether it's have some games with it.
Right. Absolutely.
My thumbs don't work that way, but
yeah. Yeah.
So it's nice chatting with you, and thanks for the update on the biz, and come back again.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, Ed. I do have to run to a 2:30 meeting now, but no, I appreciate the time, and keep me posted on how you're doing, and all things, and love to chat with you again here soon, or see you hopefully in the area at some point again for another event at Maggiano's over here or something.
Take care. Have a good one.
All right. Take care, Ed. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.